I have two distances on this. One at the top for the 48 inches and the other one shorter that I put up here because it now pulls the bathtub floor up. And the reason I like to do that is because now I can clamshell this together, and that Z-line has already folded the tent underneath in half, where the two bottom halves of the tent that have the mud and the debris on them are touching each other, so that will prevent the dirt and so on getting into the rest of this tent. This is my Zpacks Duplex tent set up in my backyard here, and I just wanted to show a modification having to do with the front doors here. So if I come up close here, you see that I have it pitched with the flex pole option, but I'm also using a tent pole here, and with the rainbow door completely open, the bathtub floor falls down right here. And in the rain and so on, well, in the rain, if you have a river running along here, water can get in. So what I've done here is I've taken a bit of Z-line and I've attached it to the bathtub floor here, actually around the seam where the mesh pocket goes. And so there's no hole poked in here, although I guess you could do that. And if I just pull this up, I can attach it to the inside of the peak, or in my case, I can attach it to the top there. And so if we look up close, all I've done is I've attached a loop here, and it goes over this. And this is easily just flipped off. This is easily off and on to my poles here. Now, you would probably put a toggle or something in here, or down inside do something if you don't have the flex pole option. But this extra line here serves another purpose. But first and foremost, I've tied a loop here just so that it holds the tent bathtub floor up off, just like the other edges, the short edges, have the shock cord. I've tied another loop here at this point because if I wanted to pull the floor up high for folding, then I can loop this over here, and I'll show that in a little bit. Normally you wouldn't have to use this because the rainbow mesh door has a vertical seam right in the middle, and that vertical seam, when this is zipped up, folds the floor up. It's just that when you don't have the mesh door closed, this isn't held up. So the idea here is just to make sure this is held up. I suppose I could put it through the handle of my trekking pole. It's up for you to decide, if you use this method, how it goes. But it's not poking through the hole here, or the bathtub floor. At some point, I guess I might wrap the bottom around this place where all these seams come together, because it's certainly strong enough. I wouldn't need a grommet. And we're not really putting any tension here on this. So that's the first part of that. And this is the 1.2 millimeter Z-line. So this just weighs a gram or so, this length. More importantly for me, though, is once again this extra loop here. Because if I do a clamshell to fold up my tent, as shown in the other videos, and I'll show that in a moment, this is really nice for that. So I'm going to pause here and adjust the camera, and I'll show you how I pack up the tent now. Okay. This shows how to, I'm going to pack this tent up here as quickly as I can. Let's see here. You know most of this from the other videos. So I don't really have to explain all of this. I only used 4 stakes this time, but with this now, I have 2 distances on this. One at the top for the 48 inches, and the other one, shorter, that I put up here because it now pulls the bathtub floor up. And the reason I like to do that is because now I can clamshell this together, and that Z-line has already folded the tent underneath in half, where the 2 bottom halves of the tent that have the mud and the debris on them are touching each other. So that will prevent the dirt and so on getting into the rest of this tent as I fold it up. So I'm going to undo the ends, connect those 2 magnets together, undo this end and this end, and now the tent is off the ground. I don't step on the guy lines, and I can fold it lengthwise using the aid of my poles here. The 4 corners have magnets on them, so they come together. I can put this right here on the rain skirt. This is like this, and how I fold the rest of this is any which way. But what I'm going to do here is take the holes here and just fold them up. And I can roll the tent around the poles, which is what my intention is. Let me just check the video to see that you can see that adjustment there. I'll zoom in a little bit. And I've kept, especially in the case of mud and so on, it's important, I think, to keep this stuff off of the tent clean, or if the tent is wet, I don't want to be picking up dirt here. So I put the tent stuff sack over the end, and recall that I have a cut off water bottle here in the bottom that just exactly fits the poles, keeps them together, but it also prevents the ends of the poles from poking out onto anything. At this end, I've cut another, this is actually the bottom of a 20-ounce soda bottle, and it's cut and melted around the edge to be smooth, and I can put this here. I don't want these pen caps to be poking anything, So I'm going to just put them over the ends of the tent poles that are here now at this end. And when I put that plastic bottle piece over the bottom, these poles, these things will not poke into any stuff sack or anything else that's in my pack or on my pack or around my pack. And this has a slot cut in the side here where all of the bits of the tent can come out like that. So for me, how I pack this up, the rest of the way just doesn't matter. I'm going to roll it in here. And I've got a big DCF stuff sack now, so I don't waste time figuring out how to stuff this into here. It just goes in if I've rolled it reasonably tight. And it's not meant to have this tent in the smallest possible volume at this point, because wherever I stuff it next, the air can come out, and away I go. This particular stuff sack is from Laurel Designs. I think they're large, so I could put the stakes in here and so on. But it's not a stuff sack actually. It's a dry bag, and roll it up. Roll it up this way as well, getting more air out. And here the tent is protected from abrasion, water, and if it's wet, the tent is wet, it won't get anything else wet that I have with me. So there it is. So I just packed up this tent, and I will set it up again. So this shows hopefully how quickly I can set this tent up. If I needed to, I'll reverse everything. Tent poles are ready to go. What am I looking at here? It's a mess. Okay. So I have blue and blue on this side. So I need to come down here and grab the blue magnet or blue colored pen here. Cap. Blue colored pen cap here. Pull off the .2 millimeter Z-line, making the clamshell tighten up. So, looking at, made a clamshell. This is not loose yet, so if I pull this off, the tent can now be spread out, and the trekking poles can be put in. But basically, that's a pretty quick pitch. Almost done. Put some stakes in, put some tent poles in, jump in the tent. There you go. What was that? About 3 minutes, it looks like. So there's the tent again pitched. Once again, I put a Z-line going from this central joint here up to the top here to keep the tent floor up when the tent pole isn't there. And I've added another stopping point so that I can pull it up more when I fold up the tent.